Start recording.
Started the recording. You have started the recording. You don't press.
I'm not pressing it. It's alright. You can.
Alright, good morning. How was the night, at least for those that we have met yesterday? How was the lesson yesterday? Alright, I have a simple question for you. If you can remember what we discussed yesterday. Alright, what kind of food are you supposed to be eating? Fruit, vegetable. And which ones are you supposed to avoid? If I should open somebody's bag now, I will see chocolate there. Alright, my name is Suleima, as you can see the name there, and I'll be talking to you briefly on HIV/AIDS this morning. I think it's really important for us to have this discussion because we have attained such a level of maturity, and the scourge of HIV and AIDS in Nigeria is actually rising, unfortunately. Even in Sokoto here, the current prevalence from a survey that was conducted in 2012 showed that the prevalence is actually rising. Alright, we are at 6.4. We used to be at 3.3 before that survey. But now the prevalence of HIV/AIDS in Sokoto is 6.4%. That is quite worrisome. Right? So we feel that we should come around to be talking to people like you, alright? So that when you get the message very well, you'll be able to educate other people in the community. So that's the essence why we should actually talk about. I know your teachers have already taught you about HIV/AIDS. This is just like going to be a reminder of what you have learned, right? All right. So what is HIV? Anybody? H. What does H stand for?
Human.
The I.
Immunodeficiency virus.
The V.
Virus.
Excellent. And then the 8.
Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.
Wow. So I mean, there's no need for this lecture. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right. So in essence, the HIV, as you said, is a virus, while the AIDS is the condition that the virus can lead to. All right. So we'll go through the slides and you will see whether there are new things or maybe this is something that you have already known. As I said, this is just going to be a reminder. All right. So, as you have rightly explained, the H stands for human, that is, it infects people. And then the immunodeficiency shows that it causes the body's immune system to collapse over time. Alright? When it attacks the body, it actually attacks our immune system, the CD4, mainly the CD4 cells. It goes there and destroys the CD4. And virus, of course, you know virus, you are doing science, so it's not a bacteria, it's the smallest living entity, becomes alive only when inside a living susceptible host cell. They are infectious and copy their genetic material into genetic material of human cells. I think let me just briefly draw a cell, a human cell here, just to explain that part. Alright, suppose this is a cell. As you know, a cell has got a nucleus.
Yes.
And this part is where the cytoplasm is. You remember this is the cell membrane?
Yes.
Very good. So suppose this is the HIV virus that comes in human body. Alright, it enters, we'll see the mode of transmission. And then it has these glycoproteins that are projected this way. And inside it has got its own enzymes, it has got its own ribonucleic acids. Alright, so when it comes in contact with this part of the cell, let's say this is a CD4 cell. Alright, it pours its content here into the cytoplasm. Alright, it pours its content there, and then it now uses the enzyme to change shape. Because it's only when it changes into that genetic material that resembles human cell, that's when it will get entry into the nucleus. Its target is to enter into the nucleus. Alright? It cannot do that unless it uses its own enzyme called reverse transcriptase enzyme. Have you heard of the name before? Alright, it's called reverse transcriptase enzyme. That enzyme will help this virus to change into like human kind of genetic material for it to get access into the nucleus of the human body, the cells or the CD4 cell. Is this making sense? Yes. Good. So now what happens is when it enters, it now integrates itself into the DNA of the CD4. The DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Very good. So it now goes inside there to ensure that it mimics the DNA. That's where the problem begins. Now, as soon as it does that, it will now come out and use another enzyme called protease enzyme.